Hello and welcome, this is rooflemonger, and this is my updated assist tier list for Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, some months ago I did have an assist tier list, and this is the updated version, as we're all smarter and better as players, you know, things I've learned, things I've watched other people learn over time, and just kind of reorganizing what my thoughts are on the assist tier list. Now, if you only care about to see the tier list, well, here it is right now. So this list takes into account the power of the assist and nothing else, not the strength of the character overall. That has no bearing on this list. It's only how good the assist is. As you can tell, I got a character who is very good like Adult Gohan at the bottom of this list because I don't like the assist. So this is going to be based off of, you know, the neutral applications, the recombo applications, the block stun, all this kind of stuff, just the overall power and everything that makes it good. Some assists are kind of one-trick ponies, but that trick's really good, so they're up on the list, and some just kind of have, you know, not a lot of uses, so they're further down on the list. So feel free to agree or disagree with what I'm going to say, you know, post in the comments below, you know, do you think I'm crazy? Sure. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack over Blue Goku again. I still stand by it. I think that assist is not very good at all, but without any further ado, let's get to the video. So now, starting with tier 5, which is the lowest of our tiers, let's talk about the two Gohans. Now, the characters themselves are pretty wildly disparate themselves in like the actual tier list, as Adult Gohan's a pretty good character, and Teen Gohan, well, he's Teen Gohan. But the assists themselves, they both just aren't very good. Now, in the original tier list I made some months ago, I had them rated very lowly, but not in the bottom tier, but now I'm downgrading them to the bottom tier because they just aren't that good. Like, it's really that cut and dry. They're short range. You would think it have any kind of invincibility. It doesn't. If it did, they'd be wildly good assists, but since they do not, you know, that's kind of it. They have some recombo ability, but not like some of the other supers, and their recombo ability with a lot of the characters is very finicky, to say the least. So that said, short range, limited use, a low recombo ability for the most part, especially compared to some of the other assists, I really have to rate them in the lowest possible category. Now the blues. My opinion on this is unchanged, as I still think they're bad assists, just straight up. The one saving grace of the Vegeta assist, because it is slow as crap and it's hard to combo off of, like it's near impossible to combo off of in a proper combo, outside of some really esoteric setups, is he still jumps while doing it, so you can do it and then block an incoming attack, and the attack won't pass through to hit the assist on the other side. So that's something, I guess. And the Goku assist, no use at all in neutral, just zero. And limited recombo ability. There's a couple combos that are possible with the Blue Goku assist, yes. But it's very small test case sample, and it's just really going to be super team specific. And when it's that case, it's only going to be there for the combo, and then I bet you could find a different character to do it with. Just the assists themselves, just, I don't like them. Now on to tier 4, so it's one tier higher. Let's start with Broly, Ender 21, and Zamasu. So these guys are kind of all in the same boat. They have projectile assists, and they all are kind of just really wonky, especially Broly's. So yeah, they toss out the assist, or they toss out their projectile, and they kind of go from there, but that's all it is. The timing on them for combos is very different. It's not forgiving like a beam, because the beam hits at all places at once, versus especially someone like Android 21, you gotta basically hit on the exact pixel of her fireball or you're out of luck. Someone like Broly too, his fireball, while he does it himself, is an amazing tool, one of his best tools when he himself does it. But as the assist, it's incredibly wonky, especially in corner combos due to the fact he travels forward while doing it. Zamasu, same deal here. It's got a little bit of a weird, awkward startup, and it just pushes back too far for the most part to be useful in any real regard. Now, that said, just to toss him out, it's alright in neutral. But that's all it is. It's alright. Nothing else. Either any of these three, it's just alright. It's nothing on Cell. Like anyone with a beam or Vegeta, it just cannot compare in any way, shape, or form. It's not too useful for combos. Someone like Broly specifically is really finicky with corner combos, and for that, that's why they're in the low tier. Next up here in Tier 4 is Ginyu, Beerus, and Majin Buu. So all these characters just kind of suffer from a case of ho-hum syndrome. Beerus only really has any use in the corner, as in the corner, his assist is prone to hitting twice, as you see there. So some combos you can get, like, you know, a Dragon Rush or something, but once again, the better assists let you do that anyways, and they're good in neutral, and they have added their application in block strings and all that kind of stuff. Beerus is just kind of whatever. Majin Buu, same deal. The hitbox is quite good. That is one good thing. And for certain combos, if you need a pop-up, it'll service that as pretty much the highest pop-up, besides Frieza. Now, that said, the block stun's not amazing. It's still limited reach, as you can see here. And it's just is fully outclassed by the assist higher up on the tier list. And Ginyu is just... all I can say about Ginyu is it's not as bad as the blues. That's about it. Small pop-up. However, if you do it mid-screen here, the pushback is severe, so that really hurts a lot of combo potential. The block stun is decent. It is not amazing, but it's certainly decent. The range is better than you think it is, as you can see there. But overall, it's just fully unimpressive considering the other assists we have higher up on the tier list. Now, moving on to Tier 3, this is our largest pool of characters in the assist tier list. So these assists are all very serviceable. They have some strengths and maybe a couple drawbacks. They're perfectly good and alright assists. But their biggest problem is they're simply outclassed by the people above them. So let's start with Tien here. Tien was actually higher up in my original revision of the list, but he simply fell down by the fact that his beam doesn't work like all the other beam assists. Now it does pop straight up, which is useful in certain combos, absolutely. But it doesn't have the wall bounce of the beams, it doesn't have the corner carry, and in that regard, I just simply can't feel right by putting him anywhere near the same category. It's obviously the same move as it is here up front, whether or not he's the point character. When he's assisted, same thing. So the pop-up's useful, but it just simply isn't as good as the other beam assists because the utility isn't there, and the move is not as active as the other beams are, meaning in neutral, the other beams last a little bit longer, so it's a little bit more prone to catch people. Now the Vegito assist. So of the blues, because we went over Goku and Vegeta, this is actually probably the best one. Oh, well, not even probably, it's definitely the best one, because the biggest strength here is this. If you're close to your enemy, Vegeta will appear behind and above you. So not even just above you, behind and above you. So he is fully immune to basically being block stringed out. There will not be a stray hit to knock him out of doing his thing. And in neutral, it's a harassment tool. Like, it does absolutely negligible damage, and it is a weak projectile you can homie dash through. But just the simple fact that you can just toss it out and be somewhat safe in a defensive position, as long as you're blocking, they're not going to be able to hit him at all. And characters who are taller or have exceptionally long normals can actually somewhat convert off this. Like Broly. Disconnects, Broly can just go stand jab down heavy, and he can get a full combo. So for him, it's kind of like a low-rent Vegeta assist, as long as he's somewhat close. That's obviously character-specific, but still, it is pretty neat. Now for Hit. Hit's best thing is a decent recombo assist. Not amazing, but pretty decent. And the move, despite what it looks like, causes more significant block stun than it looks. So in the regard of you just doing kind of basic whatever block string, it'll hold people down for a little bit. Not as much as some, but more than you would think, so it's perfectly serviceable. It's alright recombo, it's alright block string. Once again, the only thing holding it back is it's just not as good as the best ones. So for our next batch of characters here in Tier 3, let's talk about Bardock, Piccolo, and 18. So 18, my opinion of her has actually gone up quite a bit since the original list. It's still a limited use assist to be sure, but the use, even though it's limited, is really good, and it's just simply this. You do whatever in the corner, doesn't really matter. You call her, and she's basically going to protect you for your next setup. Now, you know, go for instant overhead, go for low, whatever. If you go for a Dragon Rush specifically, and they try to hit a button to get out of the Dragon Rush, she'll eat the input, and the Dragon Rush will go through normally. So the only reliable way to counter a Dragon Rush when you call her assist is to actually hit the Dragon Rush input properly, and not any button to break out. So if they're not aware, you'll get your Dragon Rush every single time, and that's really strong. So for that, pretty much alone, that kind of urges her to the mid-tier of the assists. Piccolo. Piccolo is a very solid neutral assist. Just toss it out, just see what happens. It's all you really need to do is just see what happens and just make them play around it. You know, are they going to be dumb and homing dash? Well, cool, you can just down heavy them on reaction. It also a very solid assist after any given knockdown. So you can knock down your foe here, do whatever, call Piccolo, have them wake up into it, and they gotta kind of hold that. So they can wake up deflected, sure, absolutely, but then still you can just sit and wait for the deflect to end, and then you're still at the advantage. So in that regard, it's pretty alright. And as for Bardock, the assist is very quick, but it doesn't quite have the range of his normal version of that lariat move. It is alright for recombos, it's alright-ish for block stun, it's not as high as some other characters. It's just perfectly servable. It's like almost the definition of the average assist, and thus it's in the average assist tier. Now for our next grouping here, we have Krillin, Trunks, and Frieza. So Krillin in the most recent patch actually got his assist buffed. It does more hit stun, and you can control whether or not you throw the Senzu Bean or the rock, and for that, this assist is way more useful. Is it a good neutral assist? Absolutely not. It is an awful neutral assist. But in the corner, it basically is free Oki. You just do it, toss it, cool. Whatever tech up they're going to do, the rock will get them. There's no way of getting around it, so you can do it. If they want to be silly and, you know, try to delay wake up, sure, just you get a free Senzu Bean out of it. So it's mostly dictated all around corner use. It has no... I'm not going to say zero use mid-screen, but near zero use mid-screen. But just the fact now you can choose rock or choose Senzu Bean. The rock hit stun is increased, so you can do combos you couldn't do before in the corner. All in all, it's a much better assist than it was before. It's still not a great, amazing assist, but the one thing it does really good, corner pressure, it does amazingly and better than most other assists. Now Trunks. The one thing about Trunks here is he has a bit of startup. Now, even when we're close up here, he's gonna not be able to do the move quite right away, and the further you are, the longer he's gonna take the wind up into the change of future attack. The hitbox is still huge. For certain characters, it's a great recombo assist, although depending on the character, it still pushes it back pretty far, so you gotta, you know, character by character basis. He does not retain some of the projectile invincibility he does when he's doing the move properly himself. So that's a bit of a bummer, but the big hitbox and all in all, it just makes it pretty solid. Now on to Frieza. Frieza still suffers from the same problem he suffered before. This move has minimum distance. If it did not have minimum distance, this might be up a higher tier, but it has minimum distance. So you have to be a certain distance away for this move to work. Now, once you're in that distance, that pillar is still the pillar. That box dominates the portion of the screen it's in. This is a no-fly zone. If you are the right distance, you call Frieza, you own that part of the screen. Very high pop-up, as you can see here. For some characters, that's exactly what they want, and that really helps them out. Now, it's good for recombos, for the height. It's good for owning the part of the screen while you're just faffing around in neutral. But the minimum scaling, once again, unless you're in the corner, because the minimum distance doesn't apply in the corner, it'll always work. But if you're near the enemy and you're like doing a block string here, let's just turn on a block, gonna go boom, boom, boom. Like, it's just not useful in that regard. So all in all, it's a pretty decent assist, but a lot of assists, like, you know, a big part of any given assist is using a block string to kind of keep your turn going on, and you need like a very specific character block string, and not all characters can work with them. So in that regard, that's why he's in the mid-tier. So Nappa, my sweet, sweet Nappa child. Your assist is solidly mid-tier, and that means that's the highest tier thing about you. So the assist, one thing is it tracks. Like we just went over Frieza here. Frieza does not track particularly well. Nappa tracks fantastically. It just doesn't work from exactly full screen, but other than that, it's pretty good. The assist obviously is not as tall as Frieza, but the explosion is very wide, and that's very good. And as for combo purposes, it pops up a good height, but not too high, not too low. It just kind of works out really good. Nappa is a great recombo assist for basically any character in the game, and it's not bad assist to toss out neutral. It's a great block string assist because it has a good block stun. It's a pretty solid assist overall, which is a damn shame because Nappa's not a pretty solid character overall. Now for tier 2, this is our second highest tier for assists. The first portion here we'll talk about is Gotenks, Cell, and Kid Buu. Now, Gotenks himself, I'll just tell you right now, he was the closest to actually being tier 1. This is a character who, over time, the usefulness of his assist to Galactic Donut has only been going up and up and up and up and up, to the point where it actually had a slight nerf in the patch to help get rid of restand combos. And if it did keep that restand, I would put it in tier 1. The only thing holding it back is it's still a bit awkward. It doesn't have the universal appeal of the tier 1 assist, which we'll go into in time. But yeah, block pressure, recombos, weird recombos, like airborne stuff that only Gotenks can give you. It's just fantastic overall. The only thing is obviously the startup's awful. Like, as you can see here, you're never tossing this out in neutral, which is what the other tier 1 assists let you do, and that's the only reason it's not there, because it's great in every other situation, but just throwing out neutral it's worthless in neutral. Now, speaking of not worthless in neutral, let's talk about Cell here. So Cell tosses out a beam. It's an angled beam. And as you can see here, if you do it from full screen, well, it's not quite going to cut the butter. But he also, as with some of the other assists, when you're close by here, he does the move above you. Meaning, if you block a move, the button is not going to go through you and hit the assist on the other side. Meaning he gets to complete his move, and it can save you from a block string. So that, in fact, is a beam. The hit stun's really good. The block stun's very serviceable as well. It's just an all-around fantastic move. And our final one here is for Kid Buu himself. And this move only has one value. It is block stun. Do the move in a combo? Well, sometimes you can get a decent combo. It's alright, I guess. Value in neutral, exactly 0. Value in recombos, near 0. The block stun. This is everything. No other assist holds you in block longer than Kid Buu does. And you can just do crazy stuff. Like, so even Gotenks, it's a very basic thing, right? So we got the block stun, we can shout cancel, cool, immediately gets high-low. And guess wrong, you get full combo, and you have no chance to reflect out or mash a reversal or nothing. Kid Buu's assist is one of the most oppressive assists in the game, and it's only there for the most part to make you block and get some mix-up. And that's the value. Like, will the combo be scaled? Probably. Won't do amazing damage, but the fact that you're getting damage, and yeah, like, there's no other assist going to make you coin flip as much as Kid Buu. And that's like a big reason why everyone's playing Kid Buu. Even Goichi dropped Vegeta for Kid Buu, and even though I think Vegeta's pound for pound better assist, which we'll talk about in a minute, it just goes to show you how oppressive this assist is. The final assists here in Tier 2 are the two unsung heroes of assists. These are the guys no one really talks about, yet they're really, really good, and that's 16 and Yamcha. So they are just all around fantastic at pretty much all aspects, except maybe not so much in neutral calls, but the block stun for both these guys, much higher than average. 16 also has a special property where he appears far up ahead of you. So no other assist really does that. Like, some assists might appear behind you, most assists appear wherever you are. 16 appears in front of you, meaning you can be wildly away from the enemy and still have 16 come and do his thing. The hit stun. So both of these guys here, let's turn off our block. Both of these assists leave you standing on hit. They don't knock you up. If you're in the middle of a combo, sure, they'll pop you up or whatever. Yamcha will hold you in place while you fall so he can like land, do whatever. But so if I do a basic string here and I just like kind of metronome time myself to have 16 assists, like, it's gonna hold them in place, and then I can recombo. If they block it, so let's switch guard back on. We do the same metronome timing here, and then cool, we can just get a cross up or something. Like, the fact that the block stun's so big, the fact that it leaves you standing if they connect, they're both eminently amazing recombos, especially 16. 16 probably the pound for pound best, besides Vegeta, recombo assist in the game. It's just useful in every single situation. There's basically no character that can't benefit from the 16 assists. Vegeta works in most, or sorry, Yamcha works in most situations. And they're both really good pressure assists, especially Yamcha because the block stun's a lot higher than average. Just all around fantastic assists, and like, once again, these are the unsung heroes. You might hear people talk about a lot of different assists, but usually they won't talk about these two guys, but they're both so good. And here we are at tier number 1. These are the most universally strong, the most universally applicable, the most universally combo-friendly assists in the game. They just work everywhere, and that's Vegeta and the two Gokus. So, I know you're saying, well, didn't Vegeta get nerfed? Yeah, sure, he got nerfed. Yeah, look at this. I can block this. I can deflect it while blocking now. I can homing dash through it while blocking. Heck, I can even do something crazy like this. I can go deflect and cancel into a level 3. All my block, right? It's still tied for the best assist in the game. It is now simply not the pound for pound best assist in the game. The old tier list I had Vegeta, then the 2 Gokus. This move is still amazing. It is still the best neutral assist to toss out. And the arc is absurd. He jumps straight up. He's very protected from block strings. He's an anti-vanish move in and of himself in the corner. He lets combos happen that no other character in the game can do, on top of just working well for everybody in the game. The reward for just randomly tossing this out and getting a random hit is a full combo with basically 0 risk. Sure, if they block it, wait it out. Just wait a second. It's not really their turn. Can they deflect it? Can they home and dash? Sure, but if they block, then just wait them out. It's like, oh, you're going to home and dash? Cool. I'm just going to down heavy you. The value of this move in neutral is still uncontestedly amazing. Like, I can't say much more than that. This is still so amazing, and the nerf, as far as I'm concerned, did it hurt the move a little bit? Sure, but did it remove its value? Absolutely not. It's still incredibly amazing assist. And now as for the Gokus, they basically have the same beam. I think there's like a 1 or 2 frame difference between the startups or something like that. But it's the same move. It's universally applicable. This move owns the whole lateral portion of the screen here. It's amazing toss out in neutral. A lot of characters just toss it out a homing dash. If it connected, sure, whatever. If not, then it's not like they couldn't do anything because they got to block it. So the recombo ability is off the charts. The move causes a wall bounce, meaning you can universally Dragon Rush in the corner after a Kamehameha hits in the corner, leading to a lot of crazy combos. The bar gain's also really high. So say we have our bar gain set to somewhat lower here. Assist, Dragon Rush. That's a giant chunk of bar at the end of any combo. They're just so good. That's all I'm going to say. Once again, just like Vegeta, the recombo ability's off the charts. The neutral power's off the charts. The everything's just off the charts. These 3 are undisputedly heads and shoulders way better than every single assist in the game. And there's nothing more I can really say than that. So there you have it. So agree or disagree, once again, just put it in the comments below. We'll hash it out. I'm sure a couple of you guys are going to be flack over Blue Goku again, because he did last time 3 months ago, but I still stand by it, so we'll see how that works out. But anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.